What's going on, faithful? It's your boy, Steven Box, and I'm going to be previewing the 49ers and Raiders game, week 17 today. So let's jump into it, man. So, first of all, just a quick recap. Niners winners of 8 straight, already clinched the NFC West, still in contention for that number 2 seed. The New York Giants didn't want to do us any favors this past week, but it's all good because Green Bay right now is pretty hot. I think they might have a chance of beating Minnesota this week and helping us to get that number 2 seed, which would be huge for us because, would love to be able to go ahead and get that home field advantage locked up at least until an NFC Championship game. And if Philly falters at some point, we actually would have home field throughout the playoffs. So be a huge gift for us. So looking at this game this week, I'm going to give y'all 5 reasons why the 49ers are going to win this game. Okay. They are the better team. Okay. That's it. That's the 5 reasons why the 49ers are going to win this game. Okay. All jokes aside, just being serious. So the thing is, when I look at this matchup on paper, it looks like an annihilation, y'all. I'm just keeping it real with you here. The 49ers have scored over 30 points in 5 of the games during this 8-game win stretch. The Raiders have scored more than 30 points only 4 times the entire season. Okay. And the thing is, man, Brock Purdy is not playing like Mr. Irrelevant, right? He's not playing like a 7th round rookie. He's playing absolutely out of his mind. And I'll be honest with y'all, man. I have kept looking week after week for a flaw, a weakness, something that teams are going to be able to exploit, something that concerns me about our chances in the playoffs with Brock Purdy. And I haven't found it yet. I mean, seriously, I was thinking to myself this past week, man, if, what happens if he gets in a close game? What happens if things are tight? Will he stay composed? Will he start to panic? Will he start to force things? Will he start trying to do too much? It was tied at halftime. He didn't panic. As a matter of fact, Kyle Shanahan actually doubled down on his confidence on Brock Purdy and allowed him to go out there and start throwing the football in the second half. And it exploded. I mean, I'm going to share this with y'all. These are some crazy numbers that I saw. Red zone efficiency. Niners had 5 trips into the red zone, 3 field goals, 1 fourth down stop, and 1 touchdown. That's a 20% red zone efficiency. Okay. I forget the exact number, but I think it was like 34 or 37% third down conversion percentage. And they put up 37 points. Okay. I mean, listen, we talked at the beginning of the year about how the 49ers were not this super explosive team. I heard multiple announcers get on TV and talk about how if you can get the 49ers in a deficit, they're not built to come back. I don't know if that's true anymore, y'all. I do not know if that's true anymore. This team has been clicking. This offense has been clicking. The addition of Christian McCaffrey has made this team unstoppable because you have to give so much respect to stopping that run game. I mean, look, go back and watch that double Kittle pass a couple of weeks ago, right? Like they threw it over, they faked it over to one side to, I think it was McLeod on that play. And then they came back to McCaffrey. When they went to go back to McCaffrey, man, the whole defense flowed over that way. Guys literally left George Kittle open because they were so afraid of Christian McCaffrey. And speaking of George Kittle, man, is there anybody in the league right now that is hotter than George Kittle? I mean, that dude is basically said, hey, you guys need me to catch the ball? Throw me the ball. I got you, right? He's going to be just snatching touchdowns from people. We stole Ray McLeod's touchdown. But Ray McLeod, man, that's another name that I'm really impressed with right now because, Debo is out. By the way, big news. Debo could potentially be able to come back this week. Personally, I hope they don't do it, man. personally, I hope they let him come back next week, get a couple series in, maybe a half, and that's it. Like, just get some of the rust off. That's all we really need out of Debo, right? I want to see Ray McCloud get some more opportunities. That 71-yard touchdown reminded me of when we had Mostert, right? Where he would get that little crease and then, like, you knew once he came out the other side, he was gone, right? That's what I feel like we have in Ray McCloud. And I want to see a little bit more of him in the running game on some of these, plays like that, or not even just on the running game, but like the quick wide receiver screen game, things like that. I want to see what he can do with that kind of stuff and get him some more opportunities. So I'm hoping to see a little bit more out of him this week. Jauan Jennings, had the tip pass this week, but he's been pretty solid for us, so I'm comfortable with him. Ayuk has been struggling a little bit without Debo over there to take away some of the attention, but had a pretty nice game, had a huge 54-yard play this week, but obviously, that's the situation. Once we get Debo back out there, that's just going to make it that much better. Elijah Mitchell also could be getting activated, or not activated, but getting his practice window open. He actually has a chance to play week 18 and could definitely be back for the playoffs in time. So this team is getting healthy at the right time, getting Debo back, getting, Mitchell back. Both of those guys will be absolutely huge for this team. Got to give a shout out to the offensive line. I mean, I still have some question marks around McGlinchey. I think we all do. He goes out there and he makes some great plays, and he has some plays where it's just like, dude, what are you doing? But I have to say, man, that for the most part, these guys are actually playing really well up there on the offensive line. Trent Williams, of course, doing his thing. Aaron Banks, hey, listen, I was pretty critical of the draft pick when it happened. More than happy to say that I was wrong on that one and eat my crow, because, man, Aaron Banks is playing really, really well. Jake Brendle's actually playing pretty decent at center. And I actually like this little rotation that we have between Burford and, man, I'm sorry, my mind just totally went blank. Hopefully you guys can remember who it is that he's switching in and out with, because my mind just went blank and I cannot think of his name to save my life right now. So anyways, the offensive line is playing well. Brock Purdy's making great decisions. The offense is humming. This is the best defense in the league. The Raiders, they're struggling. They're on the verge of getting eliminated from the playoffs. If anything concerns me at all this week, is that they're going to come out a little hungry, right? They're going to be apt to want to go ahead and get something to happen. But, I just don't think they can do it, man. I mean, like I said, they've only scored over 30 points 4 times this season. That's becoming almost an average for the 49ers at this point. And so when you really look at it, number one defense in the league, offense is really starting to click at the right time. Versus a Raiders team that's been very prone to blowing leads. 3 turnovers this past week against Pittsburgh in the second half. Held Pittsburgh to 3 points, and then fourth quarter just fell apart. Let them put 10 points on the board. So, yeah, it's not a good look if you're a Raiders fan. I don't think this one's going to be particularly close. I got the 49ers winning this game by at least 3 scores. So we will see what happens. All I'm going to say is go Pack, because we're looking for that number 2 seed. So good luck to you guys this week, and looking forward to watching the 49ers go out there, because, of course, Niner Empire, you know how we feel about Raider Nation. Let's go make this thing happen. Bang, bang, Niner gang.